The Secret Alpha Queen. Chapter 4. Traces of morning light drifted across the bed where Kela lay, her cheek pressed against the steady rise and fall of Rhaegar's chest. She stirred gently, savoring the rare feeling of waking without immediate fear. His arm was curled protectively around her waist, and when she shifted, he opened his eyes with a soft smile. "Morning, little wolf," he murmured, his voice husky with lingering sleep. The corner of his mouth lifted in quiet amusement. She returned his smile, recalling all too vividly the chaos and danger they had survived. The victory over Malachi still felt unreal, and the peace of this moment seemed almost fragile. "Good morning," she whispered, lifting her hand to brush a lock of hair from his forehead. She admired the faint silver lines of scarring near his temple, a reminder of their recent battle. His arm tightened around her, drawing her closer against the warmth of his body. "I could get used to this," he said softly, "waking to find you in my arms, without the specter of war breathing down our necks." Kela exhaled, the weight in her chest easing. "So could I," she admitted. "I spent so long balancing vigilance and worry that I almost forgot how to just breathe." She slid her palm across his chest, feeling his heartbeat beneath her fingertips. "How's your side this morning?" He stretched, wincing a little before settling back. "Sore but bearable. The healers have done wonders. I'm lucky the wound wasn't worse." She remembered the sight of him lying still after the battle, blood staining his armor, her heart pounding with terror that she would lose him. A trembling sigh left her lips. "You scared me. I thought—" He turned her face toward him gently. "I know," he whispered, "but I'm here, and you saved me as much as any healer could. I held on to the bond we share. Your presence was the anchor that pulled me back." She blinked away the sting of tears. "I'm grateful. For both of us. For the pack. For this second chance at a real future." They lay there a while longer, content in the hush of the morning. Eventually, responsibility nudged them into motion. Kela pressed a soft kiss to Rhaegar's cheek and slipped out of bed. The first day with no looming threat, she thought, letting her tense shoulders relax. Soon Ella arrived bearing herbal tea on a polished tray. She bobbed a quick bow. "My lady, my lord," she said, her tone bright. "I hope you're rested. There's a palpable excitement around the castle this morning. Everyone's talking about the successful battle, and now—" Kela lifted a brow in curiosity. "Now what? Are rumors flying already?" Ella's eyes sparkled. "Oh, people are wondering when you'll be officially recognized as Luna," she said, then directed a pointed glance at Rhaegar. "They say we've had enough of war. It's time for celebrations." Rhaegar chuckled, accepting the tea. "They're not wrong. We've put off the Luna ceremony long enough." He glanced at Kela. "Perhaps tonight, if you agree." Kela's heart fluttered in excitement and trepidation. "Yes," she said, voice steady. "The pack deserves a chance to rejoice. We'll do it tonight." Ella clapped her hands softly, trying to contain her enthusiasm. "I'll let everyone know to prepare. We'll have to plan the ceremonial decorations and coordinate with the elders, but we can make it perfect." Kela watched Ella depart with a lightness in her step, then turned to Rhaegar. "I guess we're really doing this. After everything, it feels sudden, but also right." He set the tea aside, moving closer to tuck a stray lock of Kela's hair behind her ear. "It is right," he said gently. "We've faced darkness. Let's embrace the light." They walked together down to the great hall where breakfast was in full swing. Warriors from both the Dark Moon and Moonlight packs sat together, sharing food and conversation. Kela sensed a new calm in the air. Malachi's defeat had lifted a crushing weight from their spirits. Andrew greeted them near the entrance, bowing slightly. "Kela, Rhaegar, it's good to see you. You look well rested." Rhaegar nodded. "Remarkably so, the castle feels lighter." Andrew gestured around. "The pack needed this victory. Now they're eager for a sign that our alliance is more than just necessity, A Luna ceremony could unify them. Kela offered him a small smile. "We've decided to hold it tonight." Andrew's face lit with approval. "Excellent. I'll start preparing. We'll gather in the courtyard under the moon, with the elders' blessings." They joined the communal meal, sharing casual conversation with the pack members seated around them. Kela noticed how the old barriers between the two packs seemed to be dissolving. Wolves from Dark Moon teased and laughed with her original pack, forging friendships that only days ago would have been unthinkable. At one point, Thomas, Kela's loyal beta, approached with a quick report on guard rotations. He had always been diligent, and she noticed he now exchanged friendly nods with several Dark Moon warriors. When he finished, he regarded Kela with a soft look of admiration. "It's good to see you at ease," he said quietly. "This is what you deserve." She squeezed his hand. "And what we all deserve, Thomas. Thank you for standing by me." He stepped away to talk with Andrew about final patrols, leaving Kela and Rhaegar to finish their meal. Afterwards, Kela rose, determined to help with preparations. She had no intention of leaving all the labor to the others, especially for a ceremony so significant. She spent the late morning in the courtyard, where carpenters and decorators worked side by side, raising small wooden platforms for musicians and adorning the perimeter with lanterns. Some younger members of the pack carried armfuls of flowers, late autumn blooms to decorate. Kela guided them gently, suggesting how to weave in moonlight's silver ribbons with Dark Moon's darker textiles. Occasionally, she paused to correct a detail or redirect some eager helper. By noon, Alpha Dorian emerged from the castle to join her. His face, once lined with grief and worry, looked more relaxed than she could remember. "Daughter," he greeted, glancing around. "The courtyard's looking splendid. The celebration is well-deserved." She slipped an arm through his, walking with him among the bustling workers. "I'm still getting used to seeing you here in Dark Moon territory. I always thought I'd bring you home to the Moonlight Stronghold." A wistful smile touched his lips. "Life seldom follows our plans. I admit, I never foresaw that you would unite two packs in this way, but I couldn't be prouder. We owe Rhaegar too. He risked everything to protect you, and in doing so protected us all." Kela's voice softened. "He did, and he suffered for it, nearly losing his life. But he's healing now, as are we." She hesitated. "How are you truly feeling about tonight, Father?" Dorian patted her hand. "I'm honored to witness it. You've proven yourself as a leader many times over, and now the world will see you as Luna. No father could ask for more than to watch his daughter stand on her own terms." She felt tears prick her eyes. Her father had been distant for years after the tragedies that befell their family. But now, seeing him proud and supportive, ignited a sense of completeness she had yearned for. She blinked quickly, clearing the tears before anyone could notice. "Thank you." He nodded, then let her return to her tasks. She spent the rest of the afternoon consulting with the elders of both packs about the formalities of the ceremony, especially the intricacies of combining traditions. While the Moonlight Pack custom involved wearing a silver circlet as a sign of the Luna's blessing, the Dark Moon custom included a short vow recited under moonlight. They decided to incorporate both. Kela would receive the circlet from Rhaegar, and together they would speak the vow in front of everyone. As the sun dipped lower, the excitement around the castle grew palpable. Musicians tuned their instruments in the courtyard's corners while warriors and citizens alike gathered in clusters, chatting animatedly about the upcoming event. Long tables were brought out laden with fresh bread, roasted meats, and autumn fruits. The aroma of spiced wine drifted on the crisp air. Kela took a moment to slip away to her chambers where Ella was waiting with her ceremonial attire. The gown shimmered in soft moonlit hues, pale silver threads weaving through dark fabric that reminded Kela of star-filled skies. Ella guided her behind a dressing screen to help her change. The fabric felt luxurious against Kela's skin, and she caught her own reflection in a polished mirror. The lines of worry that had once etched her face had eased, replaced by a quiet strength. Ella adjusted the gown, smoothing the sleeves. "You look perfect," she said, eyes bright with admiration. "I don't think I've ever seen you this radiant." Kela laughed softly, a mix of nerves and happiness welling in her. "Thank you, Ella. I feel different tonight, as if the war within me has finally settled." Ella stepped back, clasping her hands. "May I be honest? I've always dreamed of seeing you truly recognized for the incredible leader you are, and now as Luna, the whole pack will honor you." Kela turned, a serious note in her gaze. "You were the one who stood by me when I had to hide my leadership from outsiders. Your support meant everything." Ella's cheeks warmed. She hesitated, as if wanting to share something more. Then she blurted out, "I ran into General Thomas again." Her voice quivered with excitement. "The one from Rhaegar's border patrol. We only exchanged a few words, but I can't stop thinking about him." Kela's eyes lit up. "Oh, did sparks fly again?" Ella exhaled, a soft laugh escaping her lips. "More than sparks. It was like a current pulling us together. He said he hopes we can talk after the ceremony, maybe walk the castle grounds. I know it sounds silly, but I feel like my heart is racing every time I think of him." Kela took Ella's hands, giving them a supportive squeeze. "That doesn't sound silly at all. It sounds like the mate bond. When you know, you know." "Is that how it was with you and Rhaegar?" Ella asked, her expression a mix of curiosity and hope. Kela recalled the moment she first truly locked eyes with Rhaegar, the thunderous realization that her life would never be the same. Yes. It was overwhelming, terrifying, and exhilarating all at once. Ella sighed, a smile tugging at her lips. "That's exactly how I feel. I barely know him, but there's something undeniable." Kela smiled back. "Follow that feeling, trust it." She gestured to the door. "Now, are we ready? Because the courtyard is buzzing, and I suspect they'll be waiting on me any moment." Ella straightened, smoothing the last wrinkle in Kela's gown. "Yes, let's not keep the pack waiting." They made their way downstairs, Kela's heart pounding. Waiting at the bottom of the steps was Rhaegar, dressed in ceremonial attire that matched her own color scheme. Dark fabrics shot through with subtle silver accents. His hair was combed neatly, and though the bandages beneath his clothes were still there for his healing injuries, he held himself with quiet dignity. When he saw her, he reached out and took her hand. "You look breathtaking," he murmured, eyes gleaming with admiration. "You're quite impressive yourself," she replied, feeling her cheeks warm. Together they walked through the grand doors into the courtyard, which was transformed for the night's ceremony. Torches flickered in the twilight, illuminating a wide circle where the packs had gathered. At the center stood a simple platform of wooden planks. On it, two elders, one from Dark Moon, one from Moonlight, waited with small bowls containing fragrant herbs. A hush fell over the crowd as Kela and Rhaegar stepped onto the platform. The moon overhead was nearly full, casting a pearly glow across everything. From the corner, a gentle drumbeat began, punctuating the hush with a steady rhythm that quickened Kela's pulse. Rhaegar raised a hand. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice carrying with ease. "Not long ago, we stood on a battlefield, united against a darkness that threatened our very existence. Many of you fought bravely. Some of you lost friends, family. We owe them our victory and our future." A low murmur of acknowledgement rippled through the crowd. Kela looked out, spotting faces from both packs. She recognized warriors from her own ranks, older wolves who had once doubted Rhaegar, and younger fighters who had followed him without question. Now they were all one. Rhaegar continued, "We gather tonight to formalize the bond that has already shown its worth. Kela, who once led in secret to protect her pack, stands now in the open, as brave and true an alpha as any I've known. She has fought beside us, bled beside us, and shown a heart as vast as the sky. It's time the pack sees her for what she is, our Luna." A chorus of agreement swept through the courtyard. Kela felt her throat tighten, a rush of emotion threatening tears. She steadied herself. This was the moment she'd envisioned in daydreams, but never believed would come to pass. The elder from the Moonlight Pack, a stately woman with silvering hair, stepped forward and sprinkled a handful of herbs into a small bronze vessel, igniting them. A warm, spicy fragrance filled the air. "Kela," the elder said, voice calm yet strong, "do you accept the responsibilities of Luna to these united packs? Will you guard them, guide them, and honor them as the moon goddess intends?" Kela lifted her chin. "I do," she replied, projecting her voice so all could hear. "I swear it on my life." The Dark Moon Elder spoke next. "And do you, Alpha King Rhaegar, vow to stand beside her, respect her counsel, and uphold the unity that binds our packs?" Rhaegar's gaze never wavered from Kela. "I do with all that I am." The two elders exchanged nods. The drumbeat quickened momentarily, then softened again. Andrew stepped forward, bearing a small silver circlet. Kela recognized it as part of the moonlight tradition, a symbol passed from one generation to the next to mark a Luna's acceptance. Rhaegar took the circlet from Andrew, turning back to Kela. "Kela," he said, his voice low but ringing with conviction, "with this circlet, I recognize you as Luna, not just by word, but by the bond we share. May our pack find strength in your leadership." Kela bowed her head, allowing him to place the circlet gently around her hair. She felt the cool metal settle against her scalp, a tangible sign of the role she was stepping into. An outburst of cheers, applause, and howls erupted from the crowd, echoing across the courtyard. She looked up to see dozens of faces bright with enthusiasm. She thought of how far they had come, once suspicious rivals, now united in this moment. Rhaegar offered his hand and Kela took it. They faced the crowd together, standing shoulder to shoulder. For a heartbeat, the cheers swelled, then hushed again as if in reverent anticipation. Kela squeezed Rhaegar's fingers, drawing strength from his nearness. "We vow," Rhaegar said, speaking for both of them, "to honor every wolf here as part of our family. We vow to protect our land from threats within and without. We vow to guide with wisdom, to lead with courage, and to remember that our greatest power lies in unity." Kela added, her voice resonating in the hush, "No pack stands alone. We are stronger together, and together we will shape a future where our children can thrive, without fearing shadows of the past." A resounding howl of approval burst forth, led by Andrew and Thomas. More voices joined, until the courtyard was alive with the ancient cry of wolves celebrating a new era. Kela felt tears slip down her cheeks, overwhelmed by the raw power of it all. Then the moment spun into celebration. Musicians launched into a triumphant tune, and many wolves broke into dance. Others gathered around Kela and Rhaegar with well wishes, embraces, and smiles. The long tables of food beckoned, their scents mingling with the crisp night air. Kela found herself wrapped in an embrace by her father, Alpha Dorian. "My Luna," he said, voice thick with emotion. "I'm honored to call you that, daughter." She laughed softly, hugging him back. "Thank you. I couldn't have done any of this without what you taught me." He nodded, stepping aside to let others approach. Thomas, her beta, extended a hand. "Luna," he said warmly, using the title for the first time in her presence. "It has a nice ring to it." "It feels right," she replied, a wave of affection filling her. This man had guided her from the shadows of her father's heartbreak. Now she stood fully in the light, recognized by all. Andrew clapped Rhaegar on the back, joking that they would never be short of cause to celebrate with Kela as Luna. Another group of warriors from both packs raised a toast. Servers began pouring drinks, distributing them among the revelers. A young moonlight wolf thrust a goblet into Kela's hand, beaming as if she were royalty. As the festivities continued, Kela made her way through the crowd, exchanging words with wolves of all ranks, listening to their stories. Some expressed relief that the battles were over. Others shared excitement about forging deeper connections between the packs. It was a swirl of positivity that buoyed her spirits. Eventually, Ella found her near one of the banquet tables. Ella held 2 cups of spiced wine, offering one to Kela with a conspiratorial grin. "It's my personal brew," she teased. "But please go easy." "My last attempt was stronger than expected." Kela laughed, accepting the cup. "Thank you. And you? How are you enjoying the night?" Ella's gaze drifted across the courtyard, alighting on a tall figure standing near a cluster of torches. General Thomas, who patrolled Rhaegar's southern borders, caught Ella's glance and offered a slight, warm smile. "I'm enjoying it," she said quietly. "I spoke with him again. He wants to walk in the gardens after the ceremony." Kela followed Ella's gaze, her heart glowing with happiness for her friend. "Then go. Don't let anything stop you. Tonight is about forging bonds after all." Ella set her untouched cup aside and smoothed her skirt. "I will," she said, excitement shining in her eyes. "Right after I help you with any final tasks." Kela insisted she would be fine, and Ella finally relented, moving gracefully toward where General Thomas stood. Kela watched as they greeted each other, an almost electric tension in the air. The general looked utterly captivated, his posture shifting to something more protective, more tender, and Ella's face lit with a quiet rapture. Kela had seen that exchange of energies before. She felt it with Rhaegar. Could this be the start of another mate bond? "Kela," came a gentle voice behind her. She turned to find Rhaegar approaching, holding a plate of fresh fruit skewers. "You need to eat something," he said, offering them to her. She took one with a smile. "You're right, I've been so busy talking I forgot about dinner." Taking a bite of sweet, juicy fruit, she sighed contentedly. "This is wonderful, but I admit I'm already dreaming about a quieter moment once the celebration winds down." His eyes gleamed with understanding. "Give it a bit longer and we can slip away. We should at least honor the dancers with our presence before we vanish." She laughed, letting him guide her toward the dance area. Musicians had switched to a playful tune, and couples spun in lively circles. Others swayed in pairs, lost in each other's company. Kela allowed Rhaegar to lead her into the swirl of movement, and soon they were dancing with the pack, laughter rising in her throat as he spun her gently. When the tune slowed, she relaxed into his arms, letting her head rest on his shoulder. He swayed them side to side, murmuring, "All these eyes are upon you, yet you look so at ease." She smiled. "I used to fear being watched, but tonight I feel their acceptance. It's no longer suspicion or scrutiny." He pressed his cheek to the top of her head. "They love you, Kela. They see the strength in you." They finished the dance with quiet grace, stepping aside as a new, faster tune began. With the main formalities behind them, the crowd had loosened considerably. Voices rose in spirited conversation, and the ring of laughter was ever present. Young wolves darted about, weaving playful games through the throng. Elder wolves settled at tables with tankards of mead, recounting old stories. Kela and Rhaegar slipped out of the immediate circle of dancers, finding a small space near an ivy-covered wall. He brushed a hand across her cheek, studying her with an intensity that made her heart flutter. "How are you feeling, truly?" She drew a slow breath. "Content. Hopeful. Maybe a bit overwhelmed by everyone's admiration. But it's a good kind of overwhelming." He dipped his head, pressing a soft kiss to her forehead. "I'm proud of you. I hope you know that." Her fingers curled lightly against his chest. "I do." She glanced around the courtyard. "I'm grateful we have a moment of rest, although I can't help but wonder if we'll face more threats, remnants of Malachi's witches or other hidden enemies." His expression turned thoughtful. "We'll remain vigilant, but we can't let fear define us. This alliance we've built is strong. Together, we'll be ready for whatever comes." She nodded, leaning her head on his shoulder. For a time they simply watched the dancers and listened to the rising crescendo of fiddles and drums. The flicker of torchlight illuminated a tapestry of faces. Dark hair, light hair, old scars, new smiles, each a story of survival and unity. Eventually, the pair decided to sample more of the feast. They chatted with Thomas, her beta, and Andrew, discussing how to integrate their patrols more seamlessly. The conversation flowed with an ease that spoke volumes about how far they had come since the uncertain early days of the Alliance. Near the corner of the courtyard, Ella and General Thomas lingered, speaking in hushed tones. Ella's hand occasionally rose to brush back her hair, a sign of nerves. Thomas's posture was open, but he looked smitten, a hesitant smile gracing his lips each time she spoke. They were oblivious to the rest of the crowd, lost in a tentative world of their own. Kayla's chest swelled with happiness at the sight. She caught Ella's eye, offered a discreet smile, then turned away, giving the pair their space. If the mate bond had chosen them, nothing would stop it from blossoming. As the evening deepened, some wolves began drifting off to their rooms or to quieter corners for private conversation. A handful of the more energetic still danced by the bright torches, refusing to let the night end. The moon hung high, illuminating the courtyard with a silver glow that made the scene feel almost dreamlike. Rhaegar touched Kayla's elbow gently. "Come," he said. "Let's find a moment for ourselves." She followed him up a curved stairwell that led to one of the higher balconies. From there, the entire courtyard stretched below, a patchwork of shimmering lanterns and candlelit tables. The music drifted upward as a softer, wistful melody, and the gentle breeze carried the scent of autumn leaves. They leaned against the stone balustrade. Rhaegar slid an arm around her waist, drawing her to his side. Kayla gazed down at the scene, watching the last group of dancers move gracefully under the moonlight. Torch flames flickered, casting dancing shadows. He pressed a kiss to her temple. "You've come so far. Do you recall how we first met?" She chuckled softly, nodding. "I was furious with you, remember? We crossed paths at that old boundary line. You tried to question my father's hold on Moonlight territory." He smirked. "And you put me in my place without hesitation. I should have known then I was dealing with someone extraordinary." She turned, letting her arms rest on his shoulders. Those days seemed so distant now, like another lifetime. He brushed her cheek with his thumb, his expression earnest. "I never dreamed we'd stand here, as Alpha and Luna of two united packs. It feels bigger than me, bigger than us, but I wouldn't trade it for anything." She let out a soft, content sigh, shifting closer so she could feel the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. "Nor would I. We fought for this, and the pack fought alongside us." Below, she spotted Ella and General Thomas now strolling away from the courtyard, likely heading toward the gardens. They walked side by side, steps in sync, heads inclined toward each other in deep conversation. Kayla's lips curved into a fond smile. Rhaegar followed her gaze. "It seems love is in the air tonight," he remarked. She looked smitten. Kayla nodded. "I've never seen Ella so taken with anyone. If it's a true mate bond, their connection will only grow." He stroked her hair, voice thoughtful. "They both deserve it. With the war behind us, maybe they can cherish their bond without fear." She closed her eyes, relishing the warmth of him. "That's all I want for everyone here. To live without fear." They stood in silence for a few moments, letting the beauty of the night envelop them. The breeze carried distant laughter, reminding them that joy was still in the air. Kayla pressed her face against Rhaegar's neck, inhaling the calming scent of him. He rested his cheek on her hair, arms around her protectively. He spoke after a time, his words quiet. "Thank you for not giving up when things were bleak, for staying by my side even when our packs were at odds. You believed in me when I doubted myself." She lifted her gaze. "You gave me something to believe in. You recognized my worth when others only saw me as a mysterious alpha's daughter. You made me realize I wasn't alone." He bent to kiss her, a slow, tender merging of warmth that sent a thrill through her veins. She clung to him, letting her own arms slide around his neck, responding in a gentle dance of mutual need. When they finally drew apart, breath mingling in the hush, her lips curved into a smile. "I think we deserve some sleep," she said, voice thick with affection. "Tomorrow we'll be busy. People will want to congratulate us all over again, and the process of truly merging our packs has only just begun." His smile mirrored hers. "Then let's rest, my Luna. We'll greet tomorrow with clear minds." They settled beneath soft blankets and Kela curled into the crook of Rhaegar's arm. Outside, the final embers of celebration glimmered in the windows. But here, in the stillness, she felt the deeper glow of contentment. She touched her lips to his throat, feeling the steady pulse beneath his skin. It was a reminder of life, of a love forged in battle and sealed in unity. His hand brushed across her hair, a soothing motion that lulled her. She closed her eyes, drifting toward dreams untainted by fear or dread. For the first time in as long as she could recall, the future felt not just possible but full of hope. She listened to the soft cadence of his breathing, letting it carry her into quiet sleep. When morning came, she would rise as Luna, recognized by all. She would walk side by side with Rhaegar, forging a path for the united pack, discovering Ella's blossoming romance with General Thomas, and overseeing the slow but steady healing of the kingdom. Yet in this twilight moment, drifting to sleep in her mate's arms, she realized she had already discovered the greatest gift of all: a life shaped by love instead of fear, and the knowledge that, at last, they were home.